What up, Laker Nation? It's your boy DTLF back with another video. Congratulations, Golden State. They have done it, man. I'm happy for them, but I'm more happy that they prevented the Boston Celtics from getting to number 18. And now I'm starting to think that these Celtics are prehistoric as you know what, because they can't get no championships in the modern day era. They literally have one in the last three appearances. That lets you exactly know they haven't won many championships since. So I love it, man. I'm excited. I got to give Curry his flowers. I promised you guys. I didn't think he had it in him to go into Boston twice and do what he did tonight. 34 points again tonight. Listen, man, I'm a believer now, Curry. I'm a believer. He's officially in the top 10 on my list. He's officially made it, man. I got to give him props all time. This is his most impressive championship for sure. The first one, let's be honest, right? Cleveland was injured. That was the first one Golden State won. The second one and the third one, obviously, overpowered with Kevin Durant. And again, he didn't have no Finals MVPs. I told you guys I needed to see a Finals MVP from Curry for him to move into my top 10. I give him that. Some of you already put him in your top 5. Some of you are crazy enough to have him in your top 3. That's fine. But he did that. He took care of business at the Garden on that disgustingly ugly and outdated parquet floor. And their owner was trolling in the end, man. He mocked the Boston accent, man. I loved every minute of it. I needed to see this. I needed to see them, cry tears of pain on their floor. I needed to see it, man. And I will give credit to the young players. They were very resilient. They played extremely hard, so I give them respect, man. But I'm doing extremely well. You see the shirt I'm rocking today, man. Listen, we are tied for 17, except they got theirs in the black and white era when the TV didn't have no color. Most of theirs. Lakers been dominating every generation. We will continue. We're trending up. They're stuck. All right. So Lakers will get to number 18 before then. That's a promise. That's a guarantee. Tonight, guaranteed that and solidified that. So again, credit to the Warriors. I really wanted to see Draymond Green tap dance and break dance, on that disgusting leprechaun in the middle of their ugly floor, but that didn't happen. He stayed classy for the most part. I was very curious. I stayed till after to watch. And obviously, Curry gets his first MVP. Give him his flowers. Give him his flowers, guys. Whether you're a LeBron fan, a Laker fan, just a Curry hater, you have to respect the fact that he did it versus a tough defensive team that really game planned and strategized for him. Like you can see, he was crying in the end because those were tears of exhaustion right there. That's him being exhausted from fighting through screens, moving without the basketball, trying to get open, battling that tough defense. And they were flopping a lot. They were getting all the calls. So major credit to Golden State for pulling this out. And by the way, I told you guys this. Draymond Green, when he has it going, when he's knocking down shots, he hit a 3. He was passing the ball, playing exceptional defense. It was a Draymond Green-esque type game. When that happens, it's really hard to beat them. Klay Thompson kind of had an on and off finals, but he was off tonight. But Curry did his thing, man. So again, major props to them, and I'm excited because you know what this means for Laker Nation? Besides, obviously, they didn't get to number 18 before us. Besides that, we're both tied at 17. But besides that, that means we're still alive for Jason Tatum. He could potentially still become a Laker. Had they won a championship here, all right, had Boston won it, then maybe he would have bought into the propaganda and that little fake Celtic spirit crap, But thank God it didn't happen, man. You got to love it. You got to love it. The basketball gods were not kind to they cheating asses, man. We still remember the wheelchair. We still remember them turning off the AC, all that stuff. It's not going to go out the window just because, some fans were born yesterday or some fans don't like Curry or whatever. That has nothing to do with Laker fans, all right, because the Warriors are nowhere near our 17 championships. But Boston was. And again, the goal here is to be the winningest team of all time, and we have a shot next season. Listen, LeBron James came out and defended Anthony Davis recently. Obviously, this has to be motivation. We didn't make it even to the playoffs. LeBron is motivated. I'm sure Anthony Davis is going to come back motivated. Lakers got to do stuff in the offseason. Trades are already underway. Now we can focus on free agency. We can focus on the draft coming up next Thursday. So join me in my living room live. I will be breaking down the whole entire draft this time, first and second round. It's going to be like 4 hours of this mug. So get used to it, guys. And it's going to be fun. But most of all, man, this is a big victory for Laker Nation because, believe it or not, there were some, I don't know if they're real Laker fans, I doubt it, some real confused fans that were actually rooting for the Boston Celtics just because they dislike Curry. And to those fans, I say, you know what? stay over there, guys. Stay over there. You know, you're a Celtic fan now. Congratulations on making it to the finals. But please don't come back on this ship, especially when we're winning. That's all I got to say to those fans that were claiming to be Laker fans, but we're cheering for Boston. Right? That's the last thing I got to say. But it's a good night. Today was a good day, in the words of Cube. And I'm gonna head over to the comment section, see what you guys got to say about this, man. How hyped are you guys that Boston didn't win the championship? Real Laker fans, sound off in the chat. He said, Dan, I don't know how to feel if the Lakers don't trade Westbrook. Like, how will the Lakers get another ring? Well, here's the thing, Savage. We don't know if that's going to happen, a trade or not, because obviously Westbrook is holding us at ransom by not opting into his contract. You can't trade somebody who's technically, as of right now, a free agent. He hasn't opted in or out of his contract. But we'll know by the end of the month. And a lot of things are going to be answered by the end of this month. People forget free agency's around the corner as well. By the end of this month, it's going to kick off. We already got a couple of trades. Denver Nuggets with the Thunder, or was it the Kings Thunder? I forgot. 2 teams. And obviously the one that just happened with Christian Wood yesterday that I covered here on the live stream. It happened while I was live. So, you know, trades are going to start going down now. And I am curious if Boston's going to do anything, because they were right. They were not knocking on the door of another championship. And you know what I've noticed from Boston is that they go too much ISO ball. They don't really have an offensive system in place. They rely a lot on their defense, which is good. But offensively, it was turnover after turnover, hero ball. It was just sloppy basketball all the way around. And I don't really care what they do, but I'm saying this is going to open up a lot of trade rumors and stuff like that to happen, man. I'd love to find out what you guys think. What are you guys interested in? I'm dropping a free agent, not a free agent, I'm sorry. I'm dropping an undrafted free agent potential players that the Lakers could scoop up, or maybe late second round pick video, probably, if not tomorrow, the next day. But I will be dropping that real soon. And by the way, my phone's blowing up right now, so it's crazy, right? He said, thank you, Golden State Warriors. Yes, absolutely. They got it done, and it's really hard to win on the road. Again, they're getting all the calls over there in Boston, and it's a hostile environment. Even Draymond admitted that it was a hostile environment. But I respect Draymond. I know he didn't have the best of series, but he has very thick skin. Sometimes he makes knuckleheaded plays and stuff like that. For the most part, he is the anchor of that team. He is the backbone of that team. They go as he goes most of the time. Now, Curry had to carry a couple of games. Shout out to Wiggins. Wiggins has just earned himself a major contract whenever he comes off the books. I'm telling you this. This guy has earned his role as a 3-and-D guy, and he was phenomenal. Even tonight, what do you have tonight? He was out of this world tonight. Andrew Wiggins came up with, let me see, I think he had like 4 steals. What was it? He had 3 blocks, 4 steals, 5 assists, 6 rebounds, and 18 points. Talk about filling up the stat sheet. All right, talk about filling up the stat sheet. That's out of this world, guys. He said, Lakers get chip 18. Congrats for making it closer. He said, 5 titles are better than 4. Kobe and Magic still ahead of Shaq, LeBron, and D. Wade and Curry. Of course, but listen, we're not going to make those comparisons. To me, Curry just crossed into the top 10. He's nowhere near my top 5 yet. Now, if he wins another championship and he's the reason again, he might get there, because he has revolutionized the game as far as shooting. I don't like it, but it has changed the game of basketball. All right, but we're not going to have that conversation today. Trust me. LeBron, Jordan, Kobe, to me, are on a different stratosphere than Curry. Because even people are going to say this was his worst team, but this team was stacked. A lot of times, like, Curry was able to afford an off night, like he did Game 5, and they still won, right? Wiggins stepped up. Clay stepped up, right? Their role players step up. Obviously, Jordan Poole was big for them the whole time throughout the playoffs, you know, game in and game out. They're extremely deep, and they're getting James Wiseman back. So I don't want to hear this crap about how, this team wasn't as deep. I heard the commentator say that. I'm like, was he watching? Because, yes, Curry was sensational. I give it to him, and he deserves that Finals MVP. But his whole career, he's had a very stacked team. If not, he would have already been in my top 5. Had he got, 3 or 4 of these Finals MVPs, he would have been up there. The thing we know about LeBron is that he, obviously, and Jordan and Kobe, these guys, for the most part, were the go-tos, right? No matter what. But again, it's a beautiful night because Boston gets prevented. I hate seeing those people celebrate. Those are my least favorite fans in the NBA, and I definitely didn't want them celebrating tonight. This was the best outcome for a Laker fan. We get to see Golden State obviously win it, but they did it in Boston, so it doesn't happen too often. And by the way, They made history tonight. The Warriors did. This was the first time Boston's ever been defeated 3 times in a row in the playoffs. Isn't that crazy? From all the playoffs years that Boston has been in it, this is the first time that they have officially been lost 3 in a row and then got eliminated. So add insult to injury for them, and that puts a big grin in my face, obviously. I want to see Lakers versus Celtics for championship number 18. That finals would be good to see. That could happen because obviously Boston is still young and poised. They might tweak their roster a little bit. They're coached extremely well. It could happen, but it's not very likely. I still think Milwaukee, had they been healthy, would have been coming out of the East. I really do. But you never know. I mean, that would be an insane finals, obviously. He said, what it do? West kept secret. What's up, bro? Michael. He said, always looking forward to your streams, bro. Keep grinding. I got you, bro. I got a cool little video coming up in probably about 2 days, just to buy me some time for the editing. So, Dan, I'm so relieved that the Celtics lost. Laker fans can rest easy now. Yes, we can. And by the way, there were some Boston fans here that were trolling when the finals started. And I was telling them, keep that same energy, man. I better see y'all here after the finals, even if y'all don't, if y'all don't win. And I don't see, they're not in my chat anymore, right? So I really don't see them. I didn't even block them purposefully because they were trying to be disrespectful. And I purposefully did not block them so that we could see them here in the chat. But of course, it's a beautiful thing when it all goes silent. I can hear the crickets right now. Not a single Boston fan online right now. You love to see it. The light was too bright for Boston and Tatum. Now, this is what I got to say about Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum has an extremely bright future. And I do love the fact that he looks up to Kobe, obviously. But my thing about that is he's no Kobe Bryant. People already wanted to make those comparisons. I've told people to stop giving accolades before these people actually, before we see results. Right? I'm the type that I need to see it to believe it. I need to see Curry put his team on his back without Kevin Durant versus a tough defensive Celtic team for me to give him his flowers. Right? Same thing with Jason Tatum. Please let's not even start with a K. His name starts with a T. All right. I don't care if he wears the same sleeve bands. I don't care if he fake texts Kobe Bryant. God rest his soul. He's no Kobe Bryant. Let's just put that to rest. There will never be another Kobe Bryant. Before we even start mentioning those comparisons, and I don't mind comparisons, but the accolades have to be there. They've tried it with James Harden. Don't make me laugh. All right. I said James Harden is closer to Gilbert Arenas than he is to Kobe Bryant. Was I wrong? Not at all. As far as offensively gifted, but no results, right? And then they said Devin Booker. I said, that's the next Michael Redd or Ray Allen before he's Kobe Bryant. Again, 2 years later, still no championship. People thought I was crazy when I said that. All right. And now Jason Tatum, got to address it. Again, the disrespect, man. We can't. This guy had no championships. This is the furthest he's ever been. And congratulations to him. He's poised. He's young, still learning, still takes some poor shots. If you guys don't believe me, go watch that show Detail on ESPN+. JJ Redick breaks down Jason Tatum's performance, and it'll show you how he forces shots sometimes. And some people might chalk that up as, he looks up to Kobe, and Kobe used to take ill-advised shots. The difference is Kobe was a professional beast. All right. I'm talking like tough shot taker. He's definitely got to be the best in the history books. He would shoot over triple teams and he would make bad shots look amazing. And you can't replicate that. So I suggest this man starts playing a little smarter and looking up to different players as well so he could take from their games, because there's only one. He said Curry played his best finals this year. Congrats to them, but let's not get it twisted. He ain't no LeBron. Am I right on that one, Dan? Love your content. Of course. Listen, there's apples and oranges. There's levels to this, guys. I told you, Curry's not even in my top 10 before this playoff series started. If he wants to get that to my personal top 10, I have a very strict list. And I'm not going to say it right here because I would have to, think of all the players up right now. But I've said it before. If he wanted to get to my top 10, he needed a finals MVP, and he needed to win a championship versus a tough Celtic team. He did that. He's in my top 10 now. He's going to go down the history books. I'm sure he'll probably slide up even a little bit more. But as far as LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, those three are the holy trinity for me. And some might argue that Kareem, you can argue that some people even have Tim Duncan. I'm not putting him up there. The big fundamental is amazing talent-wise, but I need more spunk. I need more attitude. I need more, leadership. For me, the leader of that team, the Spurs team, has always been Greg Popovich. That's why I don't really credit Tim Duncan and, David Robinson as being top, 5 players ever. Not even close. I get insulted when I read that they put in all these players like Tim Duncan over Kobe. That shit is crazy to me. Like, he played in a better system throughout his career. Kobe had to play with the Kwame Browns of the world and the Smushes. If not, he would have had more championships. And some players like Curry, they're blessed to play on good teams for the majority part of their career. Kobe didn't have that luxury. LeBron James hasn't had that luxury. As of late in his career, he's had that luxury. But early on, I mean, the first time he made it to the finals and got swept by the Spurs, who did he have? Boobie Gibson, Antoine Jameson, who was already dusty, and a retired version of Shaq. So apples to oranges, man. The people that truly believe Curry is up there are mainly Warrior fans because obviously they're biased. And I'm not mad at them for it, but I'm not going to take that to heart. I love the question, and thanks for the donation, bro. But again, Curry is now in my top 10, and he's still, listen, they still got years. They're going to be relevant. Again, they get James Wiseman back. If I was the Warriors, I would seriously consider trading Clay before his trade value devalues. I know it's going to stir up the pot for Warrior fans because they love him. He's part of their three, right? Draymond, the core three: Draymond, Clay, Curry. But you got to be smart. You got to be smart. If I'm them, I'm trading Clay, getting some draft picks in return, maybe a valuable role player. He's no longer the same to me. He's inconsistent with the shooting. His defense is no longer the same. Maybe he'll get there one day, but I'm not willing to gamble on that if I was the Warriors. I trade him, get maximum return, and then obviously I start developing Kuminga. I would try to keep Andrew Wiggins, and obviously, whatever draft picks they get in return and develop those players, as well as clear cap space. They're going to have to pay some of those players. They're already way over the cap. But again, that shouldn't be a problem with them because they're winning championships. As long as they're winning, their owners, Joe Lacob and the other guy, I don't know their names, they're going to keep spending money. I think somebody said their payroll was over 300 mil because they, obviously they're using their bird rights to keep their free agents, and they're going over the salary cap. So they got to pay the luxury tax or the super tax. He said, I knew the Warriors were going to win in 6 games. Yes, some of you guys called it. I was a bit skeptical. Again, I need to see it to believe it. And Curry had never showed me he could lead a team before, personally, in the finals, right? Iguodala was the first finals MVP. People argue that was Curry's finals MVP, but I still think Iguodala, the way he was a two-way player, he had some huge plays in that finals. He deserved that. If anything, LeBron should have been the second place for finals MVP on that one for the big stats he put up. But, people that lose in the finals don't get it. And then, obviously, KD was a clear front runner in the last 2 championships. This is the one he needed from me. He got it. Congrats. Congrats, man. He said, oh, my God, Boston lost? Yeah. She said, I'm so elated. Christmas came early this year. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. And you know what? Real Laker fans, we all basking in this glory today. Now, LeBron fans, y'all might not understand it, but the history never erases itself. People try to tell us that rivalry died in the 80s. Like, we didn't face them 2 extra times in the 2008 and 2010, right? So that rivalry is never going to die, even if 30 years from now we don't see each other in the finals. But again, the biggest thing here is we want to be the winningest team of all time. That's the main goal as a Laker fan. And I'll be damned if I don't get to see that in my lifetime, right? We need to see that hopefully sooner rather than later. That'll probably be my happiest day ever when the Lakers become that team. And they're not far away from it. But we need to make the tweaks and all that and bounce back motivated. Because LeBron was inspired by this finals. I'm sure he was hurting and missing the playoffs and the finals, as he should always be. Next year is our year. I feel it. I feel it too, man. But I don't want to predict anything prematurely. But I will say, I think if the Lakers make the right moves this offseason, there's a very good chance that we will be here in the finals. Listen, nobody had the Warriors in the finals, at least not the major analysts. I kind of said they were my dark horse to come out of the West. I said it in my boy's podcast. Shout out to him. You can go back and watch that. But listen, and if you're here on the live stream, bro, I don't know why I just forgot your podcast name, but go ahead and type it in the chat. But yeah, listen, bottom line is I damn sure didn't have Boston coming out of the East at all. I have Milwaukee. They shocked the world, and thank God that shock didn't turn into a universal shock by them winning the championship with such a young team. So this was huge for us Laker fans, man, and we're definitely elated. We're happy. Like she said, Christmas came early. I'm so stoked. But I'd be a lot more stoked if it was my Lakers in these finals. Trust me. He said, don't ever want to hear about Kobe and Tatum again. Listen, the beautiful thing about the playoffs and the finals is that the truth will set you free. Always, brother. And thanks for the donation, guys. The truth will definitely set you free. These comparisons are always knee-jerk, ESPN first take type conversations that the fans actually, they eat it up, right? But to me, it's disrespectful because you're lowering the bar that a great player like Kobe set, right? You can't just throw names out there and say, "Oh, he's the next this, he's the next that." It doesn't work that way. Yeah, it really doesn't. But look, at the end of the day, the truth always comes out, and results. Women lie, men lie, numbers don't. That's a fact, right? Tatum had a horrible finals, if we're going to be honest. He had some questionable, but he's young. I'm not gonna really destroy him and say he's trash like a lot of fans will. I still want him on the Lakers. I think he'll be phenomenal, and I'm glad he had this horrible finals and he can learn from it and get better. It'll be fuel to his fire, motivation. But I just hope that he'll be seasoned and ready by the time he gets to the Lakers. And again, my gut tells me he's a future Laker. It really does. You said this don't mean Curry is better than Kobe. No, nobody said that. If anybody said that, I haven't read it. Did anybody say that? Yeah, I have not read that at all. Yeah, my phone going off the rails, right? That's crazy. He said LeBron has 4 Finals MVP. Curry has 1. Nobody's making that comparison, guys. Rest assured, there's levels to this. Curry is just barely crossing the top 10 in a lot of people's lists. Some people will be crazy enough to put him in their top 5 or top 3. I'm not that guy. All right, you gotta show it. Like you said, this is his first Finals MVP, and he's been blessed enough to play on good teams. Again, that's kudos to the front office. I can't really knock him for it, but the last 2 championships before this one were a little questionable, right? It's more like 1 championship combined because they had KD, Clay before he got hurt, right? Curry and Draymond and a bunch of good role players. So they've been like that. They've been like that the whole time, and even before that, people forget their first championship. Harrison Barnes was a lottery pick, and he played phenomenal. He was kind of like what Wiggins is doing now. Maybe not as skilled because Wiggins is more seasoned, and he definitely can knock down shots better than Harrison Barnes could at that time. But they had Iguodala, who had just come off of his last All-Star season, I think, with the Nuggets before he got traded. They had Livingston, who was a lottery pick for the Clippers, but then obviously that freak injury ruined it for him, and he kind of just his bar was lowered. He became a mid-range assassin and a two-way player, great defender. They had Bogut, who used to be an all-star, but again, he wasn't that for the Warriors. They had most Bates in their first championship. Like, I remember that team vividly, and I remember being disappointed by Curry not being able to win that one because his team was so stacked. And that's when I kind of like became a non-Curry believer, right? But this is the one where I give him his respect back. He said, we combining championships? I know, I'm just saying, hypothetically speaking, those 2 championships were probably the least impressive championships in the history of the NBA. We're talking about what, like a 73 win team, adding a mega superstar in his prime. Just being honest. But obviously, every championship counts. I'm not trying to discredit them. But I'm saying I needed to see this one from Curry, for sure. Oh, they had Festus Ezeli too? Yep. He said, Dan, did you see Darvin Ham interview? Basically said that he wants Russ to play like Drew, which makes no sense since Drew shot 41% from 3 with elite defense. What I think about Darvin Ham is he's trying to install that confidence in Russ. That way Russ can buy into his system. Now, it doesn't mean he's going to be Drew Holiday, but he's just trying to use his previous experience with guards. Basically, what he's trying to say is he wants Russell Westbrook to be a defensive specialist first, which I'm not sure if he can do at this point of his career. He's never been that. But he wants him to use his uber athleticism and his speed to focus on defense. And then, obviously, whatever he can give us on offense would be great. I still don't think, he's that player, of course. But Darvin maybe will bring out the best in him, the best of whatever version this is that we have currently right now. However, it's still not guaranteed that he's going to be on the roster. Listen, the trade rumor mill is heating up. If y'all didn't see yesterday's video, go check that one out. I talked about all the updated rumors. And the the playoffs have officially ended. Everybody's season has ended, which means everybody's focused on improving their roster starting tomorrow, starting tonight, maybe even. We already had trades going down in the Lakers. The only reason we probably haven't been involved in any Russell Westbrook trade rumors, which makes it look like he's going to stay, is because he hasn't opted into his contract. That also makes me think, is Russell Westbrook not opting into his contract because he's trying to avoid any draft day trades or anything without his consent? So that you have that, right? But it's just all speculation for now. I will be breaking it down on a daily as these rumors start surfacing And again, I can't wait for next Thursday. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and hit that post notification bell because I'm gonna be right here live during the entire draft. That's right. I'm gonna be breaking down pick by pick the whole draft, and I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully, the Lakers get involved because it makes it that much more exciting. So we can whoop the Celtics again like in 2010. Personally, me, I don't care if the Celtics ever make it to the finals again. I'm focused on our team and what we have to do to improve to get back there. Now, one thing you notice about the entire playoffs is the teams that made it to the finals, right? The teams that prevailed had extremely good depth at the guard and wing position, and obviously size in the center. Um, the shooting guards for me on Golden State were interchangeable. Obviously, Jordan Poole off the bench is more of a combo guard, but Gary Payton II is a plug-in player. You could plug him in or plug in somebody else. It can make a difference sometimes, and sometimes it won't. Um, Lakers are going to have to find a similar formula. I think they're looking to draft a wing, a 3-and-D guy. Free agency, there's going to be several guys. We already talked about some of those yesterday. And obviously, we need some size, and we're going to run Darvin Ham's, 4-out, 1-in system. So we're going to need at least one big man or two off a free agency list. People are hoping for the Mo Bambas of the world. Listen, I'll take a flyer on guys like Willie Cauley-Stein. Like, I'm open-minded to these things, right? When you have a good coach, they tend to make young players or even players that have been unpolished and unproven buy in, and then you see a different product on the court. But we still have our work cut out. Obviously, we're not even we haven't obviously hit free agency yet, but it's all going to go uphill from there. And then summer league's going to be huge. Who's going to play on our summer league team? We don't know yet. Depends on the draft, right? So these things will be answered as we progress every day. But this month is huge for us. It's going to be huge. He said Warriors chip this year was okay, but the other three are still the weakest of all time. They were pretty bad. They were pretty bad, to be honest with you. The two Kevin Durant ones stick out like a sore thumb. Like, I don't think anybody is gonna remember those and give them the respect. They are by definition a dynasty just because Curry, Draymond, and Clay have all won multiple titles. I'm talking 4 now. No matter how you want to chop it up, they are a dynasty. For me, once you win 3, no matter if it's spaced out between years, you're a dynasty. 3 or more. But yeah, they won 4 already. So for sure they're a dynasty, whether we like it or not. People are going to look back at this time and, years from now, remember, Curry and the Golden State Warriors for sure. And obviously we're going to remember LeBron James. We're going to remember Kobe Bryant individually. But the last dynasty I seen that was this dominant was the Lakers dynasty back in 1999 all the way to 2002, where they won the three-peat. So it's been a while. And then obviously the Spurs mini dynasty as well was impressive. But it's these type of teams never really get taken for granted. Whether we want to credit their championships or not, they won. And at the end of the day, they're going to go into the record books. So it is what it is, man. Steph Curry is a flat-out great. Oh, for sure. For sure. Solidified. He solidified that. To me, the most impressive game he's had in his career this far was game 4. Game 4 when they were in Boston. That, to me, was the one that won the series. The one where he came out and punched them in the mouth, even though everybody else was struggling. Him and Wiggins came out swinging, and he had a very impressive game, and he was able to regain home court advantage. That one was huge because if Boston wins that one, we might be singing a very different tune, and their confidence would have skyrocketed. They would have went back to Golden State up 2-1. Instead, what happened, right? Instead, Golden State did their thing, man. Or 2-2, I'm sorry. You said the weakest dynasty of all time? Again, no matter how we chop it up, it's still going to be a dynasty in the record books. I do agree that some of these championships were definitely not impressive, especially the Kevin Durant ones, for sure. He said Curry is considered the best point guard of all time. I still take. Listen, call me crazy, but I'm taking the 6'10" point guard who could play 1 through 5. All right, that's the one I'm taking. You know who I'm talking about? Irvin Magic Johnson. When we talk about all-time great point guards, I don't care if he couldn't shoot a 3-ball. If we're talking about a player that had size, versatility, playmaking abilities, scoring abilities, can get in the lane, one of the smartest players we've ever seen. Him and LeBron are 1A, 1B. I'm still taking him over Steph Curry as far as point guards. That's why I don't put him in my top 5. Magic Johnson is in my top 5 for sure. Yeah, game four. Game four to me is gonna be his legacy game for Steph Curry. That's the one where he showed me he had heart. I had questioned his heart for many years. Matter of fact, my friends can vouch for me. They all want me to they all want me to hit him up probably after this video so we could talk about it. But I'm telling you right now, that's the one that I said, okay, Curry learned from the past. All right. Before in the finals, he wasn't taking over like this, but experience was key here. He went up against a younger, unexperienced team, and again, experience matters in the postseason. It really does. That's what I told you guys before the postseason started. That the one thing that Golden State had over over Boston was their experience. These guys definitely been there before. They can win on the road, as you saw. They won twice on the road. They don't get rattled after a loss or two. And that's what they really exploited from Boston. Boston started getting rattled as soon as they turned the ball over. Now everybody wants to be the hero, put him back on track. That's not going to help anybody. I thought Jaylen Brown was he was great for the first 3 games, but after that he kind of disappeared. He wasn't the same. Major credit to Wiggins for shutting him and Jason Tatum down. That's to me, man. He was definitely the X factor in this series for sure. I thought it was going to be Draymond, but Draymond's most impressive game was his last one right here. So definitely got to give credit to Wiggins. What a player he has become. Shout out to him. I remember when he was in was it high school overseas? Or was it overseas? I remember those mixtapes of Wiggins jumping out the gym, and they were calling him the next Kobe Bryant and the next T Mac and this and that. And again, I never like to make those comparisons, but I definitely was excited to see him join the NBA. Then when he did, people got really disappointed and started calling him a bust because it wasn't what they thought. Him and Jabari Parker were supposed to be the next 2 guys. All right. And I'm happy for the kid because, again, you can never label these kids busts. Some of these kids are late bloomers and some of them turn into great role players. Not all of them have to be superstars, right? But this year was his best year in his career. Credit to Steve Kerr. Utilized them to perfection. Reminds me, the way Steve Kerr used Andrew Wiggins definitely reminds me of the way Phil Jackson used Trevor Ariza during our championship years, right? During our championship run. The way he used Trevor Ariza versus especially in the Orlando Magic series to win that finals reminded me so much of Andrew Wiggins tonight. So again, and the funny thing is that Steve Kerr, even though he runs a different system than Phil Jackson, they're not running the triangle right. Comes from the same coaching tree. So, but he also comes. Didn't he play for Popovich as well? I don't remember. But yeah, it all from the Phil Jackson coaching tree. So you see a lot of similarities in the way they utilize these role players and give them maximum confidence for them to really shine. He said, why does James Wiseman get a ring for doing nothing? Listen, bro, this is what I'm going to tell you. You might think he's not doing nothing, but this man is there every single day. This man is rehabbing with the team. It's hard work to rehab back from injury. It's still work. You have to do what you got to do to get your body right. You got to eat right. Got to, visit the doctor a couple of times. You got to do your workouts. All that is strengthen and condition yourself to make a comeback. So he deserves a ring because he's a part of the team, whether he was on the court or not. And that's one thing I've always had an issue with is when fans say, oh, this player didn't do enough. He doesn't deserve a ring. Listen, they're a part of the team, man, whether you like them or not. And I think Wiseman has a bright future in the NBA if he can stay healthy. That's the key right there. That's the major key for James Wiseman. But to be determined, rumor has it he's going to play in the summer league, right? So, but again, that's not my concern. I'm a diehard Laker fan. And even though I was semi-rooting for the Warriors, I really don't like them, to be honest with you. I just definitely despise Boston a lot more. So I put back my Laker cap on, but never really came off really. And we are going to go into this offseason with a lot of work to do. The West is strong. The West has always been strong. That's not news. That is definitely not news. I agree with you, man. That the Western Conference is the real deal. The East took it last year, but the West was injured, right? But listen, I'm still a firm believer that if the Lakers would have been healthy with AD and LeBron, we could have won that championship last year, right? The DTLF, AD and LeBron would have sent the Golden State home in 6. Most likely, yeah. Most likely, yeah. Let me tell you why. They don't have anybody to stop LeBron James or Anthony Davis. They really don't. Draymond would have gotten cooked in that paint by Anthony Davis. I don't care how active his hands are or how good his flopping was or whatever. AD would have cooked him if he was healthy. LeBron James, who are you going to throw in front of him? Wiggins? Good luck. Good luck. Wiggins is a great defender, but can't nobody hold LeBron but LeBron. So Yeah, it would have been a very fun series, but I do agree with you. I think had we had the right coaching, the right role players, obviously, and a healthy LeBron and AD, yeah, I agree with that take. He's the same, Dan. I don't like the Warriors at all, but I'll take them over Boston by far. Oh yeah, I would have been. Listen, we had a horrible season as Laker fans, bruh. This season couldn't end fast enough, but it really would have been, it would have been a kill shot for us Laker fans, for us real Laker fans, had Boston lifted and hoisted that Larry O'Brien, right? Really should be called the Kobe Bryant Trophy, but we're gonna call it what it is, the Larry O'Brien Trophy. What's your reaction to the report that Russ is accepting the challenge of Darvin Ham to him? Darvin Ham, to me, again, we haven't seen him coach officially, but I've watched all kinds of interviews of players definitely giving him his props for their game evolving, and people definitely believe he has a locker room presence and a voice, a real voice that players can respect of all ages, even LeBron James. So LeBron James, your team leader, can respect Darvin Ham. You better believe everybody else better fall in line, or else your ass is getting benched or traded. That includes Russell Westbrook. He has no choice. Now, if you think about it, this is one aspect of Russell Westbrook's contract that a lot of people are not talking about. This could be a win-win for the Lakers. If Russell Westbrook buys in, he plays a bit smarter, he's on a contract year. If he plays like crap again, he might not get another big contract ever again. So he's playing for his career. He needs to be smart. Plus, if he has another altercation with the coaching staff, guess what? Frank Vogel was the main culprit in the last coaching staff. If he has another spat with this coach, this brand new coach, now he looks like he's a coach killer, which is a double no-no. That's a double negative, and that's something no player wants to have that stigma on him, because now franchises are looking at you and they're like, I want no part of that guy. So if he has another poor season with a bad attitude where he doesn't listen to the coaching staff, he's throwing everybody under the bus, missing layups, and he doesn't want to come off the bench or do whatever the coaching staff asks, he might end up suffering the same fate that Dwight Howard and Carmelo Anthony suffered through, where they didn't put their ego to the side and they were about to end up jobless. So this is a huge year for Russell Westbrook, and I think the Lakers know that. And they're probably going to give him a shot. If we can't find a trade, they might give him a shot to start the year. But if he comes back with the same energy, I expect repercussions, not just from the Lakers, but from the rest of the league, believe it or not. So that's my take on Russell Westbrook, and this is why I'm a little bit optimistic about him. But I don't want to be foolish enough to be as optimistic as I was last year when we acquired him, because obviously he made us all look like fools, or anybody who thought he could work, right? So congratulations for Curry for winning his first Finals MVP. Still need KD because he's scared of LeBron. That's for sure. But in all honesty, this series could have went either way. Had Boston been a little more seasoned, this is why I always tell you, usually young teams don't win. Had they been a little more seasoned and a little more mature and had defined roles with an actual offensive system in place, I think they had equal amount of depth, if not more. They might have been the superior team, just unexperienced. Like, you had Al Horford, you had and I already forgot his name, the big center in the middle. They had great role players off the bench, obviously. That Gabe Pruitt guy, the dude with the big forehead, what's his name? Again, forgot his name. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown are no joke. Everybody knows that. Horford played out of his freaking mind, I'll tell you that, throughout the playoffs. So, the market for him, whenever he becomes a free agent, is going to be really good, even at his age, because he proved he could be he can be very valuable to teams. They literally won games because of him in these playoffs. So that's huge, especially in the Eastern Conference Finals. So again, man, listen, you can make a name for yourself in the regular season, but legends truly are born in the postseason. And I can't wait for the Lakers and to see what new talent we acquire, what type of team assembles, right? What type of Avengers are we assembling this offseason, and how this coaching staff is going to look. Oh my goodness. If it was up to me, yes, I cherish my life and all that, but I would literally, I'm such a diehard that I would fast forward these next 4 months just to get right back into Laker basketball. But I do look forward to all the little things and all the content I'm going to put in between, guys. Hopefully you guys stick with me as well. Appreciate you, JD. Appreciate you, brother. Welcome to the family. Dan, I can't stand Derek White. He's so annoying. He is, but he's a solid role player. I give him that. All right, he's a 3-and-D guy. Sometimes he's inconsistent with his 3-point shooting, but defensively he gets after it. 5-head and all. This guy, you guys ever seen the little apple-headed chihuahuas? They got the big old forehead and they're leaning sideways. He kind of reminds me of that. That's a huge forehead, but no hate, man. All love. He's a tough role player, man. I look forward to. And listen, if he wanted to be a Laker, bring him. He said, instead of making the 3-point line farther, he said, like the NBA did, I will make it the circumference of the rim a little bit smaller. What do you think, bro? Oh, no. I think not. I would hate it if they made major changes. I definitely don't want the 4-point line. I don't want the shortened NBA season. I don't want the midseason tournament. None of that BS. This isn't soccer, all right? We're not here to watch soccer. We don't need midseason fake cups and tournaments. I'm already pissed that they added a Eastern Conference and Western Conference Finals MVPs. We don't need all that BS. It takes some of the prestige away from the main, trophies. You don't want that. So what are we going to say when we talk back about Steph Curry's MVPs? Oh, he has a Western Conference Finals MVP, a Finals MVP, a regular season MVP. Like, it makes it look like it's more than it is, So I love what Adam Silver has done for the game. I like the play-in tournament, but he got too trigger happy after that, and he just started pushing all kinds of buttons. You know what I'm saying? He got too much power at this point. The NBA owners need to put a stop to it because no. He said, "Is Rashid official, Dan?" He's officially unofficial, which means verbally they might have agreed to something. They might be working out the kinks till we get the official announcement that he's on the coaching staff and they ink him pen to paper. Then I could call it official. But technically, yeah, he's going to be a part of the coaching staff. Most likely. It's like a 99.9% chance based on the reports. When they asked Darvin Ham this, he didn't refute it. He talked about, getting blue-collar guys that are ready to get their hands dirty. So he pretty much verbally confirmed that, yes, Rasheed Wallace and them are working out the kinks of whatever contract or whatever. But yeah, he said the finals showed the importance of having an age diverse team and a healthy team. The Lakers have an opportunity to turn it around. No excuses. Great work, Dan. Thanks, Anthony. Listen, you're absolutely right. We do need to get younger. LeBron James has been on the record as to saying this when we got eliminated from this regular season this year. He said, we got to get younger. We got to get better. But younger was a key word. And remember, he has a huge input on what the team is going to do this offseason. So I look forward to seeing who we draft. I look forward to seeing what type of undrafted free agents join our training camp officially based off of if they impressed in summer league or not. And then I also look forward to seeing what type of under-the-radar free agents we can get for on the cheap, because that's going to be the key. We got to work with whatever money we have, right? Unless we can unload Westbrook or whatever. But listen, I want Laker fans to understand this. I believe what Rob Pelinka, Jeannie Buss, and whoever's involved in the front office is trying to do is make sure we're good in the now and in the future by holding on to as many draft assets as we can. We're holding on to our cap flexibility by keeping Russell Westbrook. Next year, if LeBron James doesn't decide to opt back in, as a Laker fan base, we got to be excited. We're going to have $80 million plus in cap space to spend on free agents with the prime destination and max contract already under the books in Anthony Davis. So, to people that panic, say we don't have a lot of draft picks, people that say we're in, I've read articles on Bleacher Report talking about, the Lakers are closer to rebuilding than they are to contention. It's bullshit. All of it is crap. It's horse shit. In reality, we're a couple of role players away from contention. And if it doesn't work out this year, guess what? We could turn it around again next year. So listen, Laker fans, we're not patient. LeBron doesn't have all the time in the world. And we understand that. Anthony Davis ain't getting no younger. And we're trying to maximize this window of a championship opportunity. So we have to kind of find a happy medium of making deals that help the team now and also holding on to future assets for the future. Now, obviously, Kyrie becomes available. Zach LaVine becomes available. Hey, listen, you push all your poker chips to the center of the table and you got to gamble it because those players are worth doing that, right? To me, at least. Some people, debatable, right? If Kyrie, some people say no to him, but obviously Zach LaVine. If a player is worth trading for, the Lakers will definitely go all in. But we don't want to do it for the Dennis Schroeders of the world. We don't, like we did in the past, giving up picks for the Russell Westbrooks of the world. So we're trying to be a bit more cautious. And that's what you want from a front office. You want them to learn from their past mistakes. They've made several, but we need them to learn from their past mistakes. All right. That's going to wrap it up for me, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Before I go, though, major shout out to my sponsor, Prize Picks, man. Again, if you guys didn't get an opportunity to play this season, obviously the season is over. There's still other sports. NFL season's around the corner. You could try it out then. The promo code is still active year-round for you guys, man, because you guys do so much for me. I try to help you guys out where I can. So the promo code will stay active year-round. And so when the NBA season starts up again, you guys will have plenty of opportunity to cash in. So definitely check that out if you guys get a chance. I can't wait for football season. Go Rams, baby. Championship defending time. Looking forward to the season. I really hope we sign OBJ, by the way. But that's a topic for another day for a different channel. Second channel, prime time. Check it out for all Rams talk all season long. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget to smash that like button, man. It's always go Lakers. Very happy that Boston, obviously, final thoughts. Very happy Boston didn't get a championship. They continue to take L's in the finals, right? For as many championships as they have an equal amount of L's in the finals. So it's a beautiful thing, man. And I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I'll see you guys on the next one. All right. Enjoy.